Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever? 'Cause dying
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Fiasco using the playset Into the Void. To learn how we generate our story using the game of Fiasco, go check out our Fiasco Primer episode. It's a short one. You can do it. Our humble players, myself, John Holt, with me,
As always, Ken Breeze. What's up, Board Ghosts? Great to be back.
and our guest returning for the second half of this episode.
Yvonne Hartel.
All right, welcome. So let's go through our characters real quick, and then we'll walk through our grid, and then we'll get back into Act 2 of our Fiasco. So I'm playing Captain Lee Miner. He is a veteran of the many wars. This is the 22nd century, and Lee Miners has been called out of retirement to hunt down 2 clones. And so he has set off with his dog reluctantly to hunt these clones down. And
His sentient space dog.
the way this is going, it looks like they slipped from his grasp, but they may not escape the gravity of Titan. And so
Yeah.
one of the 2 clones
Yeah.
is Ken's character.
That's right. I am playing Stetson. My character has a sibling, and we were sort of separated at birth by a conspiracy. Stetson is a space punk. He's got like spiky mohawky hair. He's wearing big spiky boots, and he's got like sort of these weird sort of like space, half leather jacket / pants on. He has a lot of chains on his space jacket. He also apparently carries a laser pistol that's hidden in his jacket as well that he's flashed off to make him feel really important. But he is basically an orphan, though he tells people he was raised by really nice parents. He has no idea where he sort of comes from or who he is. But he's been able to sort of track down a sister by sort of looking into his DNA and sort of putting it into a database so he could find his sister. So once he found his sister, he's started to do what he normally does, which is be a super con man. And he's trying to start the clone factories back up. And he's heard about a clone factory that might exist on the edge of the solar system. And so that is where he is trying to travel. He's trying to find this clone factory, a space station called Delta 5. And he wants to create clones again and sell them on the open market.
I play Dr. Meg Jones. She is an astrobiologist. She's a tall woman with terrible posture. She has dark black hair, generally unimposing despite how tall she is. When she was in middle school doing a science project, we found out that she was one of the many's, so a clone who has to eat NutriPaste to be able to drink from the normal water fountains. She has the need to get even with the colony on Titan because they stole her research and applied it to their own works that were published in the scientific community, and she wants to be vindicated for that.
Yeah, and she's about to be because a huge spaceship is heading towards their main city.
Whether she meant that to be the vindication or not.
All right, so our tilt real quick, we have between Dr. Meg Jones, Yvonne's character, and myself, adversary relationship, bounty hunter and quarry, and the need to get even with the colony on Titan. Between my character, Captain Lee Miners, and Ken's character, we have the need to find the lost Delta 5 space station and the relationship of criminals, assassin and target. And between Ken's character, Stetson, and Dr. Meg Jones, Yvonne's character, we have family relationships, siblings separated by a conspiracy, and the need to hump a perfect clone of yourself.
We're very narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we also have 2 tilts from the end of our previous act. We have guilt, a visit from the perhaps unofficial authorities, and paranoia. What seems like dumb luck isn't. Things are afoot. We're on space. Just
Once again.
space. And it just says Delta Quadrant typed out. And there's not, it's just the emptiness of space. and a small black rocket comes in. You can just, it's a void in the stars,
Yeah.
really, with like slight glints off of it. And we cut inside, and you hear Bucky over the comm.
A space dog?
Yeah, saying, "Hey Lee, get up, man. Hey Lee, I'm getting some pings." And Lee Miners, he undoes the latch on his bio like sarcophagus, and it opens up, and he pulls himself out. He's completely nude. You can see these scars that go from beneath his arm all the way down his body, and basically you see that he doesn't have, pretty much like from like there's almost no hip bone, like half his pelvis is gone. It's just scar tissue. And so it's just a leg, there's no genitalia, none of that. And he lifts himself over to his bed, and he pulls open his gear, and he affixes his leg. There's a very realistic prosthetic set of genitals that he affixes, and then puts the clear codpiece on over that.
Yep.
And
A
just
standard issue.
just to
everybody.
like suits himself up, checks his vibro knives, slides them in behind his suit, and then puts on his jacket and gets a couple blasters ready. Then heads up to Bucky to see what the deal was. He passes it looks like a desk covered in printouts and like a acrylic screen with all these pictures, just kind of like some physically printed and attached, some like just kind of like up on the screen, but all askewed. So it's like a half digital, half real murder wall kind of thing with like red lines that are drawn
Ooh.
from here to here, like connecting things. And you just kind of see this path like Earth to Scipio, and then like a couple other like vectors that he's traveled so far, and like X's through. There's like the two pictures of a picture of Stetson, a picture of Meg Jones, and there are these smaller pictures that look like Stetson and Meg Jones. And when you get closer, you see that like there's a little picture of them like in an ID with like a
Yeah.
different name.
Yeah, the camera sort of lingers on
Yeah.
this sort of wall even as he walks out of frame.
Right. And you see like, you'll see the picture like a little ID, a space tag, a passport, a work ID, and then a picture like of a body with
Yep.
the like pants pulled down and just smooth, no genitalia
genitalia.
whatsoever. So you have all these photos of things that look like basically other minis of of these characters who he's been killing one by one and not finding the right ones because they're smooth down there.
Indeed. They're not breeders.
They're not seeds. He heads up to the front there, and he kind of pushes Bucky away, spins into his chair, sits down, and looks at the console, and he sees that the like radar boom, boom, is
Space star.
pinging something. Boom, boom.
What is it, man?
I think there's something out there. I'm gonna open up comms.
All right. You need me on the guns, or can I take that nap now?
So he hits the comm, and it's a lot like he gets the captain of a colony ship who answers the comm.
Captain Jonathan Benz answering. Who are you? What is your mission?
Hey Benz, I'm on a code black mission. I was to be led that there was no ships in this vector. What are you doing out here in this quadrant?
That is on a need to know basis. We are just trying to get some cargo from one place to another. It's all you need to know.
What is your bearing? What is your end location?
That would be Scipio.
You're going to Scipio. Where are you hailing from?
We're coming from Titan.
You are, and so this is a little out of your way, heading to the Delta Quadrant. What's your vector? Send me your stat quads. I have don't force me to use my override codes, but send me your stat quads.
Fine.
How's this going to go?
It goes poorly.
Oh.
It goes bad.
The communication goes dark, and I go, Bucky, prepare the force bolts, and I gun it. Some G's build up, and I catch up to this colony ship, and I shoot out these tethers. They're just like magnetic clamps with wires on them,
Yeah.
and it allows me to force override to try and get the plans through. But unfortunately, I'm stuck in the ship is much larger than I thought, and the captain is a little cannier than I thought, and he twists his ship. So as I'm downloading these coordinates, my ship gets caught in the thing and
wrapped up
and gets
sort
kind of whacked right against his ship. and kind of spins out of control.
On the colony ship is our next scene. We sort of cut to the colony ship. We see Captain Benz, and we see Stetson holding a laser pistol right to his head, saying, "That's right. Yep, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing just fine." Dr. Jones is there. I don't know what she's doing right now. What is Dr. Jones doing right now?
I think she's checking to see where exactly they are in between their travel points because
We're in Delta Quadrant.
we're in Delta Quadrant, and she's just trying to make sure that there isn't any strange blips on the space star for this lost Delta 5.
Cool. So she's
station.
keeping it. Yeah, and that's sort of what Stetson says. "How's it looking over there, sis? Anything?"
Not yet. There seems to be some strange thing coming towards us, but I think
Yeah, that's probably the assassin that's trying to kill us. Hey, man, I am sorry about this. Looking at the captain, thanks for picking us up. The escape pod, and thanks for picking us up on our dog.
You'll never get away with this.
Hey, I mean, just get us where we need to go, and this will all be over very soon. And maybe you'll make some money out of it. Who knows? This could go very well for you.
The lives of thousands of colonists rely on this safe passage.
And-
You are threatening the lives of hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, I'm really only threatening your life right now, and so.
But my life is the only thing standing between those hundreds of thousands of people in the cold darkness of space.
Well, no, really, what's standing between them in the cold darkness of space are the choices you make in the next few hours.
Curse
Those are the
you.
things that are really standing between them and death.
Curse you.
Hey, buddy, don't worry about it so much. This will all be over soon. How's it looking?
I think we've almost lost. For some reason, I've lost sight on. I'm a biologist. I'm not any sort of.
All these sort of control panels are hanging down, almost tentacle-looking, sort of like wires. Thank you. They're all sort of dropping from the ceiling, right? And so they have these control panels all over the bottom of them, sort of almost spread out, almost like upside-down umbrellas or something like that. So you're like typing into them.
Mm-hmm.
They're all start flashing and going nuts, and it's obvious that we're starting to lose control of the systems of the ship. And Stetson says, "Damn it, he overrided it. Here, I can do something. Meg, take this gun. Keep it pointed at him." He hands her the gun.
Meg takes the gun.
And he starts furiously and quickly trying to hack the system and blocking out the overrides. He's just trying to use every shred of computer sort of technological know-how he picked up on the streets. But how does it go for him, John? It's not so good. Not so good for the Stetson. So as he's typing, and sort of all the screens get locked out. He starts slamming on it. Damn it! Who is this guy? Who is he? Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know.
We'll find out, though. Get him on the comm. Maybe we can talk to him.
So you see Stetson and Meg boarding the ship. It's a flashback back to when they're boarding the big
On
space
Scipio.
bus. On Scipio. Meg turns to Stetson. She's like, "Isn't this is awesome? We're able to reunite. That's great. You led a great life, and I led a great life, and we're both on the same trajectory, trying to find the same thing. How crazy is that?"
It's it's almost enough to make you believe in space. Allah.
Yeah.
Space Jesus.
Yeah.
One of them, maybe space Yahweh.
Yeah, as
space
if
Buddha.
as if something's like
Maybe
cosmically bringing us together.
Space
and
spaghetti monster.
yeah, who knows what that.
I feel like there is a cosmic connection, that this is supposed to be happening. I agree with you.
Yes, I'm so excited to find this Delta 5 and to finally be able to show the world and the universe that I have all of this knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
and be able to.
What you're going to be able to do is going to be amazing. You're going to be famous. Everyone's going to know your name.
Yeah.
I'm going to be famous. We're going to be famous.
Yeah.
And brother, sister working together.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that.
No, definitely not. And
Maybe if there were two more of us or something like that.
maybe that would be pretty cool.
That would be nice.
For each different reason.
Exactly.
But yeah.
for
Yeah.
different reasons.
Yeah. But does any of this seem like it's too good to be true? Like,
No, we earned this. This is earned by us. Everything we've gone through, all the shit,
yeah.
all the getting spit on and shit on and kicked. And
You were kicked?
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
some people are animals out there.
That's true.
And animals are people. And,
Yeah.
you just don't know which way things are going sometimes.
It's true. It's true. It's almost it's like something's pushing us to this point, and nothing could go wrong.
Don't say that too loud.
That's true. That's true. But there are seems like there are a couple of dogs on here. So like that,
I love
I always heard that if dogs are on a ship, then the ship will have safe passage. It's like babies on a plane, dogs on a ship.
I've heard that too. I mean, space dogs, they go one way or the other. They can be really cool or they can be real dicks. It depends on the dog. I guess a lot like it depends on a person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that guy who keeps looking at us over there?
Wait.
That short guy.
Oh yeah. I mean that happens sometimes. We're both so attractive.
We are pretty good looking.
So why wouldn't? I mean, I think everybody's looking at us a little bit, but
probably. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to that. It's just my style. People are drawn to it.
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm just so not stylish that people wonder why.
I'm getting
often.
really weirded out by that guy. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Getting a weird feeling, like a really weird feeling.
Like
I think we should try and lose him.
Okay. All right. So why don't you go to the right once we get past the checkpoint, and I'll go to the left. That way we'll see if he ends up trying to follow one of us, or it seems like he's trying to.
That's a great idea. Perfect.
All right.
How's this go for us, John?
Sure, it'll go well.
Goes well. Yay.
So Meg goes. Once they get all their things checked and checked in through space security, and
Stetson fast talks his way into getting a gun past security.
Yeah, and Meg goes to the left, and Stetson goes to the right.
Indeed.
And it doesn't seem as if the strange squat man has followed either of them.
Makes sense. He goes to his own pod to get cryogenically frozen with his puppy.
Yeah.
The colony ship is moving through space, and you just see rows and rows of these pod arms. They're little cylinders. Just this thing is massive. And
so much goo pumping through this ship.
Yeah, and there must be easily 500,000 people frozen on
metric
the ship.
Tonnage of goo.
Yeah, there's 500,000 people. It's huge ship. You see as it kind of careens by, there's some light from from a star, a distant cold star, and in the shadow of the ship, just attached beneath in the dark of the hull, you see this tiny little speck of a ship compared to the mass of this thing.
Yep.
And you cut in close and you see inside Lee Miners is operating a torch and cutting his way into the colony ship, and he kicks out the panel.
His dog has sunglasses on.
Yeah. And they little welding glasses.
Welding glasses.
And he kicks it out, hits a remote, and his own ship's air thing kind of closes behind him. Him and the dog kind of twist in the air and drop. So he was standing looking up as he cut the hole.
Yep.
And as he comes down, he twists in the air and lands on his feet.
Exactly.
So the hole's above him again now, but he's inside the other ship.
Yep.
And he is in this gangway kind of thing, just adjusts himself and starts climbing down this ladder.
Yep.
And towards the belly, or the head of the ship or whatever. So he's climbing his way through. He comes up and he sees turning their heads to him are these robotic, just kind of, they aren't even humanoid. They're just mostly more hands than anything else, sort of operating these umbrellas, just monitoring people. And they just kind of with one of their heads watch him as he walks past with the dog, healing next to him. Dog it smells like goo in here. And so they come to the helm, and there he sees Stetson and Meg Jones,
Dr. Meg Jones,
kind of peering out of the port of the main windshield, and they've got the captain Ben's tied up, zip tied with futuristic zip ties.
Yep. Space ties.
Off in the distance is a little bright speck. Something is, and they're very intent on it. Well, kiddos, this may be the end of the line. And you turn to him.
I told you this guy was creepy. I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. He's been following us. What do you want, buddy? What are you doing here? I've never seen you before. I never screwed you.
It's pretty obvious that you guys you never suspected anything
What are you
about
talking
yourselves.
about?
I mean,
I've suspected that I belong to a. What are you talking? Who are you, Dad? My dad?
Not in the least. You're Stetson.
Yeah.
And you are a Megan.
I feel like you already know the answer to this question.
Under interdiction 4316 of the Act of the Many Wars Treaties, it is my duty
Don't come any closer, man. My sister will shoot you.
It's true.
to enact upon you the cleansing ritual and remove you.
Cleansing ritual? What the fuck?
What the hell?
It's been a long time since there have been many's who could seed, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have to, it is my duty to remove you.
What the shit are you talking about?
How did you find out that how do you know that I'm a many?
What? What? Well, you're a many?
I mean, I assume that you are too, since
This,
you're my.
This can't. What?
I didn't want to like ruin your perfect little life
What
idea.
perfect life? I never knew who my parents were. I was born in a gutter. I was dropped in the shittiest part of nowhere. I had to fight every day to live. And now this fucker shows up to shoot me dead just for that?
I mean, ever since I was a kid, I knew that this was who I was, but I didn't know that other people would be able to find me.
Come on, man. You can't you can't do this, man. I mean, come on. You can listen to reason. Hey, if you're looking for minis, we're about to find a shit ton of them. We'll take you right to them.
I'm aware of the Delta satellite, and I have specific orders. Thank you for helping me find it. And it's getting closer and closer as we get. It's gigantic.
You
the Delta
piece of shit, man.
You let us do all the work to find your dad.
No, in fact, my job. I'm sorry. I have a message for you, Maggie.
No one's called me that since my father died.
Shit, that's part of the message, Maggie.
Shoot this motherfucker.
How's this gonna go for?
I am
Your
going to go
turn.
well.
All right. So he goes, I'm under strict orders by command to return you to your father. He was brought under protective custody, and he was held for some time. He's very important to our efforts, and certain allowances were made, and for him to work for us developing what we need you to go back to your father.
But he died. What?
Your father was taken into custody to develop weapons for our military in upcoming war.
Oh, fuck this. And I'm trying to take the gun from your hand.
So that's when he goes, I have no reason. I was told to eliminate any other cedars that I came upon. Bucky, activate the ship, please. And that's when you see the black ship, kind of like, you hear like a thump, and you see this like little black needle of a ship shoot towards the space station that like faster than the ship you guys are in, we're all in, travels. And then
It explodes.
explodes
What?
the station.
Oh.
He pulls out a pair of pistols and says, Megan Jones, you have to come with me, and you, sir, I do not need you, and points his gun at you.
We're going to pick up right there, I think. And I'm looking you in the eye. I'm sort of struggling with my sister for this gun. I don't know if she's letting it go or not.
I think I let it go.
Sort of letting it go, but I sort of have it, but you sort of say that. And I say, you stop right there, mister, or your little dog is going to die, man. And I say, all right, buddy, you get that going. And you see another ship come out from the larger ship. It looks like a space catamaran. It's two different sort of tubes that are connected by a thin sort of gangplank. It seems to have these sort of like greenish spikes that are coming off each side of the catamaran ends, and it has an odd sort of almost like rainbow-shaped piece that goes down the middle of it. It's almost like three pieces going one way and then a cross piece between them. There's Buddy the dog in that ship. Come on, Buddy, you fire on that ship when I give the say-so. I'm pointing my gun at Lee Myers. I say, this is a Scipio standoff, man. You fire that gun, your dog's gonna die.
Bucky,
Lucky Bucky, as they call him.
this is your choice to make, my friend.
Awesome.
We've been in worse spots than this in the war.
You just let me go. I don't need to be here anymore. You never saw me. I never saw you. You just let me get out of here.
How's this gonna go?
That'll go well.
Awesome, thanks. I look at you and I say, Meg, you're a better sister than I ever have any right to have. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to fulfill our dreams, but I wish you luck. I mean that. I'm sorry I lied to you about things, but I gotta go now. All right, buddy. Keep it there, and your dog's gonna be fine. My dog's gonna be fine. All the dogs are gonna be fine. And I back up to one of the escape pods on the side that we're also familiar with, and I say, all right, adios, muchachos. And I jump in. And it takes off. The escape pod explodes out the side of the ship.
And it's caught by the catamaran.
Caught by
ship.
the catamaran, exactly.
All right.
Let's get out of here, buddy.
I think we continue the same. Meg watches her brother go off into the ship and is trying to piece any connection to her father and weapons and anything of that nature from her childhood. And how could he have, how did you find, why was I put with my father? I know that I had to have been placed with him specifically, or he had to have taken me specifically. If he was a weapons person and I'm a many, why would I be placed with him?
It was a different time. There was a lot of darkness during the war, and I can't tell you how many times I've killed mennies that look just like you, but it's rare to find many children, and that's the hardest thing. And when me and your father found clutch of many children down in a bunker hole after we cleared it out, we couldn't go through with it.
I knew that there was always more to the story. He said that I was just his daughter, and that was it. And that, fine. If I'm going to go with him, I'm going to still conduct research, but it will not be used for weapons.
I don't know that you'll have a choice. I don't know what your fate is not to be decided by me. I just have the mission. And right now, in fact, I need to get after that many who just escaped. And I walk towards the nav panels.
She has a microscope that like is a collapsible one, but
Mhm.
is very hard, and she tries to smack him like right here so that he can't.
How's it gonna go?
This is wild.
Yeah, how's
Right?
it gonna go?
Ooh.
Oh, I think it goes well. I think it goes well for you.
So she smacks
Conk.
him,
Smacks me.
and like knocks him
Knocks me into the controls.
into the controls and
Sucker punch.
suck a punch. Tries to throw him onto the ground. She's a big lady.
Yeah.
She is
can do it.
tall.
Yeah.
She can do it. And she turns to Captain Benz and says, "If I untie you, will you take me back to Titan?"
Just don't hurt any of my people. If we go back to Titan, that Titan Prime's been grievously destroyed by that ship that crashed into it. But I don't know how much they'll be able to help us, but we got to get back there.
All right, set your course.
Okay, well, untie me.
And she does.
All right. And she does. And
Now we
that
go to our
is
aftermath.
where
Oh,
our
yeah.
aftermath begins.
So yeah, I'll start reading.
Yeah.
So we finished our scenes in Act 2, and now we're going to go aftermath. I rolled a high 5. So
Nice.
I have miserable.
Yep.
You are humiliated in a big public way, and whatever reputation you once had is now in dirty pieces all around you. You'll never think of these days without a shudder of horror at your own aggressive stupidity.
Nice. I got a positive 6, which is weak. Hey, you're busted. Beat and broke down, but at least you've learned a lesson about human greed and frailty, right? It'll serve you well in prison, which is where you're probably headed. How about you, Yvonne? What's your aftermath?
I got a white 2, merciless. You may not be dead on the outside, but you sure as hell are dead on the inside. The emotional or mental wounds you have suffered will never heal. The future is a brick wall.
Captain Lee, Captain Miners, comes to with a terrible throbbing headache and realizes, bangs his fist against this pod as it fills with goo. And he reaches up for an oxygen mask and pulls it on just in time as he's submersed, and rage fills his eyes as the
Yep.
goo is activated and he goes into cryostasis.
Nice. Stetson is on his space catamaran with Buddy. He can't help himself. He goes to the debris of Delta 5 station. He's been looking at it for so long, and they're trying to find anything that might be left over, and there is nothing. Nada. Everything's been destroyed. There's no way that he'll be able to fulfill his dream to create and then hump a perfect clone of himself.
So Meg, after convincing the Captain Benz to take them back to Titan, along the way, she's just pining over the fact that she finally had a sibling that she knew was her blood, and she wasn't able to save him in the way that she wanted to, since she was not meant to be on one of these pods, and there was only one pod open, and they had stuck miners in it so that he wouldn't cause any more trouble.
Ooh.
She has to stay awake during the entire trip back to Titan, which is 2 months, and just has only the things on her person to be able to entertain her. And so she just starts brooding and brooding.
You see, through glass and then some and like polyacrylic and some like crystallized flash frozen goo, the like rage-filled face of miners,
Ah,
kind of just like peeking over the edge of where, because like he's just so short that
Yeah.
you can't like see like
Yeah.
a normal porthole. There's 2 holes in these things. There's one to show the genitals
Yep,
and one
of
to show
course.
the.
Yeah.
Of course.
All about them gems.
But it shows
All
his
about
belly
the-
button
yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. So short.
So short. But we see that like we pull further back and we're looking over the shoulder, over the head of a dog. He sort of slinks into the shadows and starts crawling his way towards the helm and starts chewing on some wires, and the lights start going red in the ship.
Cut to the POV, over the shoulder POV of another dog. As we are back on the space catamaran, Stetson and Buddy are talking about where they're going to be going next. They realize that heading back to Titan is a bad idea, and so they think that they want to go check out that wacky, awesome, sort of pirate style sort of place, Pluto, that amazing ice sort of dwarf that everyone loves to party at, and that's where they're going to go and have a great time.
Meg, once they land finally in Titan, is able to find her father, who was living there, and confronts him and says, how could you possibly have been a part of the mass murders and then save me and find my brother and toss him into the space gutter? Even though she's so happy to see him alive and well, like gets satisfaction of having family again, it still isn't quite there. Something quite can't mend with what she always pictured her father and the man that he is and was. He's still creating these weapons.
The captain is in front of his superiors being chewed out for his failure to successfully complete the whole of his mission. You know, that a ship had crashed into Titan Prime and killed most of the population there was not stellar, but more to the point that there was a breeding ready seed many out in the world right when they have a whole new enemy they have to deal with. And so he has been conscripted into going out because he cannot himself, he's not a breeding stock. He will be a frontline draftee in the new war against the Inceptids.
We flash back to Stetson arriving on the space catamaran. He has some sort of like tiki music on, like he's just chilling. He's got like at this point he's totally switched up his sort of look because he's super worried that people are after him. So he's gone super like island vibe. He's got like a Hawaiian shirt on. He's wearing flip-flops. He's shaved all his hair off. And is wearing like a sort of a woven hat, talking with Buddy the dog about how excited he is to start his new life. And as they get off, he is immediately arrested as Buddy the dog sells him out. He is wanted on several planets for several different types of crimes, none of which have anything to do with being a many, but definitely have to do with being a grifter and a con man. And so he's immediately taken into custody while Buddy the dog is paid off and takes complete ownership of the space catamaran. He's like, "No, Buddy, no!"
After having guilted the crap out of her father, Meg is allowed to not have to research for these weapons that he is creating for this new war, but instead of focusing back on cloning, she has now decided to start studying the human mind and the biology of that and how to go from brain cells and picking the best parts of people and parts of their brain to create like a super brain person. While in doing that, she feels like she's able to have authority over her own research, seemingly has agency over what she's doing, and is able to leave her father behind.
So we start on a crystal blue sky with two like bright, like a super orange, like bright sun and an almost white hot smaller sun. And we pan down on this field, this like rolling plains as far as you can see. And you get the sense that possibly the entire planet is like this with these flowers that are gigantic, like the size of trees. And you get kind of down in across this huge plain, all these grasses. And there's this little, like, there's a series of little huts, like little sort of like domed houses. And we go inside and there are these, they look like on Earth we would call bumblebees. They're these like 5 foot tall, sort of round, rotund. They're like sitting down. like little baby ones are at a table being fed, and they sit down to eat, and you hear like as they talk to one another, and then you hear this whistling sound, like a
That's when Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song kicks
Yeah.
in.
And you hear afterburners, and then just like, and they kind of look up like, what is that sound? And half the whole home is blown away, and just
destroyed.
these troopers rush in, just with like heavy bolt blasters. Just they look like bumblebees, but they're just full of meat.
Yep.
And they're just like splattered, like the little babies are splattered all over.
Yep.
Splattered
And they
babies.
just like one of the what looks like one of the maternals kind of grabs for one of the children, and
Yeah.
like a metal booted thing comes and just kicks it in the face, crushing its fingers, and then puts a gun down, and then sort of as this whole scene rushes through, just smoke explosions. You look back over the plane, and now
Take that,
there's just like
insectoid.
smoke and these black like pillars of ships. And stepping out, like sort of from as these troopers rush past, is this man in like chitinous armor with a big like bulbous codpiece with just smooth scar tissue visible inside
Yeah.
there. And he says,
Own it.
light him up.
Last scene for Stetson. He is in jail. He's having sex with someone. He's having sex with a man, but he has been able to fashion some sort of very lifelike mask that looks a lot like himself that he's put on this man. And that's where we leave Stetson. Having sex in jail with a guy that sort of looks like him.
So the last scene for Meg, she is much older, and you can see that her long black hair now has just turned completely silver, and she has crow's feet and is permanently slightly hunched. It's no longer a posture thing. It's more of like
Yeah.
that's just how she is thing. She steps back and sees this gigantic brain that's able to move itself and regenerate itself and create its own without any sort of breeding or seed or anything like that. It's just able to conceptualize its own being. As she steps back and sees it creating itself and spawning and spawning and spawning and spawning and spawning, this general comes in and says, "At last, we have the perfect weapon."
With that, our story ends. We will return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho, and you can find me on Instagram at board_ghost. And you can listen to my other podcast at newtoyoushow.com, our New to You Show at newtoyoushow.com.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, Board Ghost. You can find me, Ken Breeze, on Twitter at Berlingsbeard, Berlings Beard. And I have a website with the same name where you can find all my other projects that are going on. Lots of fun stuff. Come stop by and say hi.
Yvonne, where can people find you?
People can find me with my theater company, Team Awesome Robot, at teamawesomerobot.com, and on all of the social media platforms with the same name.
All right. Thanks again for joining us. It's been a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
A space blast.
Space Blast.
To learn more about the players and engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal. Please take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couple for our theme song and intro music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Dying, don't agree with me.